Optimizing your LinkedIn profile is one of the most important things you can do if you actually want to turn views into clients. Why? Because you lose clients if your profile isn't clear. So today, I'm going to show you my hero profile framework that I've used to grow my business on LinkedIn to more than $500,000 in revenue. And it's helped customers like Ashley go from 3,000 to more than 107,000 followers in under a year while making multiple six figures from her business. And that's what I want to show you in this video. So here's the plan. First, I'll break down the 5-second profile rule so you know exactly why people click away from your profile. Then I'll show you step by step how to fix your photo, banner, headline, and about section so you stand out immediately. And finally, I'll reveal the bonus tweaks that most people miss, but that can quietly generate you leads every single week. So if you've been posting and getting views but not seeing results, this video is going to fix that. Now let's dive in. Most people think posting is the hard part, but this is where 90% of leads are lost. First of all, let's start with the 5-second profile rule. When someone hits your LinkedIn profile, they need to understand immediately what it is you offer them. So think about their journey. They read one of your posts, they get curious, and then they click through to your profile. At this point, they have intent, but most profiles are like bad landing pages with no clear value proposition. If someone hits your profile and they don't understand within basically 5 seconds what it is you do and if it is for them, then they're gone. Because people have so many distractions these days that you need to be super clear. The most important thing is clarity. Take my profile as an example. I help founders build their brands and businesses on LinkedIn. And so you immediately see that when you see my LinkedIn headline. People include too much irrelevant information. And what happens is people leave confused and then they just won't take action. So here are the 3 questions that you need to answer in the first 5 seconds that someone hits your profile. Question number 1, who do you help? It needs to be immediately clear who it is that you are serving so that they can identify themselves. Question number 2, how do you help them? What is the outcome that you help them to achieve? For example, if you help B2B SaaS founders scale from 1 to 10 million in revenue, that should be immediately clear in your headline. Question number 3, what proof do you have that you can deliver results? Remember, when people are making buying decisions, they want to de-risk their investment. They want to see that you've helped other people like them to get the results that they want. And we'll talk about later how to make sure that that is in your profile. What this means is that what is becoming less important than ever is your job history, your school, and your certifications. Right now, really what matters is results. Primary goal here is that a viewer gets to your profile and they identify, yes, this is exactly what I need, or this isn't for me. And both of these are wins. If someone disqualifies themselves, that is also great. So the overarching point here is that clarity is more important than sounding smart. No buzzwords, really simple language that a 5th grader could read. And this is particularly important because remember, people aren't giving you their full attention on social media. They may be walking down the street, they may be walking their dog, they may be tired after a long day, and that's what you're getting from them. So it needs to be clear in those circumstances what it is that you do and how you can help them, and how you've helped other people in the past. By the way, optimizing your profile only works if people actually visit it, and that's where your content comes in. If you want to write better content, then click the first link in the description to see how you can do this using Say What. You can try it for free right now. Think of your profile like a landing page, and I'm about to show you the design that actually converts. Let's walk through the first important part of your profile. It's your headshot. What you want to have here is a close-up photo of you where you're smiling and looking directly at the camera. People should be able to see the whites of your eyes. Generally, it should be high quality and 400 by 400 pixels minimum, with a solid background that matches your brand colors, and we'll come back to brand colors later. So what really doesn't work is selfies or photos with other people. So ideally here you have a solid background color and don't have your house at home, like this one for example, because it can be distracting. And your sole goal with your photo is to make people feel like they trust you. So really you want them to be able to see the whites of your eyes here. So now, how do you actually get one of these photos? Well, there's a few things you can do. The first thing I'd recommend is going and getting a professional headshot taken. But if you want a faster solution, there are some alternatives. One tool I've used before is Insta Headshots. Another tool that is very useful is remove.bg. You have a nice photo of you already, but you need to remove the background because it's not a consistent color. You can use remove.bg to help you there. I also think that Google's Gemini Nano Banana can help you create a nice photo of you because it's pretty freaking good. So now we cover the profile photo, let's step into how to create an eye-catching banner. Your banner on your LinkedIn profile is free advertising space, and you should always use it. I see so many profiles where the banner is completely empty or just like a picture of a landscape. This is one of the first things that people see when they hit your LinkedIn profile. So what should it include? The first thing it needs to use is consistent brand colors. You should use these brand colors across your profile, your banner, your content, because you want people to associate those colors with you and remember you. And brand colors are just a way to help them do that. Now onto a value proposition. You basically just want to have one clear value prop, and that makes clear who you help, with one call to action as well, and ideally a bit of relevant social proof. So let me show you an example of someone who does this really well. Desma, I think, has a great banner because it makes her target audience super clear. If you see her slogan here, it says HR partner for businesses expanding in the UAE. That makes it so clear who this is for. I know if I get to her profile and I'm expanding in the UAE and I need HR help, then Desma is the person for me. I think her banner is a great example because it's just so clear who she's helping immediately. Another person who I think has a great banner is Jean Kang. You see here, her banner slogan is Join the PM Accelerator. It clearly references her target audience. If you want to be a project manager, this is her 5-week program for you. So now on some more of the technical details. You want to design your banner in Canva, and they have a lot of templates. The right dimensions are 1584 by 386 pixels. You also want to leave a bit of space on the left-hand side because that's where your head goes, and you don't want to cover up your head, obviously. So now we've covered the picture and the banner. The next we're going to cover is your headline. This is really important because it shows up in every single connection request that you send, along with your picture. So it is one of your first impressions of people if you're doing any outbound. One of the biggest mistakes I see here is that people just talk about their company. Problem is, unless you work at a famous brand like Coca-Cola, it means nothing to most people. For example, in my case, I have a software business called Say What. I used to have my headline, founder at saywhat.ai. This doesn't really make sense to a lot of people. So now my headline really calls out the people that I'm helping. So here's the formula that I recommend for basically any headline, whatever your niche. It starts with your role helping your target audience achieve some dream outcome, and then you have some relevant social proof. Let me give you an example here. In my case, mine is something like helping founders build brands and businesses on LinkedIn. And then the social proof is that I've helped more than 600 people do this already. Now remember, the goal here is that people should think this person can help me and they've helped other people like me before. A really common mistake that I see here is people put irrelevant social proof. Using me as an example again, I help founders build their brands and businesses on LinkedIn, including the fact that I worked at Goldman Sachs or run an ultramarathon, which might for some people be impressive, is not actually relevant for my target audience because it doesn't show that I've helped people like them achieve the outcome that they want. I would also put things like Forbes 30 under 30 in this category. No shade to anyone out there. Another really important consideration is that you get 220 characters, but you should always keep your headline to 2 lines or less because people don't read long headlines. I don't know about you all, but if I see a headline that is 3 or 4 lines, I just don't read any of it. And that's really important. What people often do is they try and cram everything in there, every achievement that they ever done. And that is not what will get people to read. It is actually making it more succinct and less work for people. On to the next part, how to optimize your about section. This is where most people blow it. They do one of 2 things. They either write their resume here and it is just like buzzword soup, or they write their life story. Neither of these things are particularly useful because remember, you need to write for the reader. They are reading your about section because they think that you might be able to solve some of their problems. And so you should frame it in how you help others and talk about relevant parts of your past that make it clear that you can actually help them or build empathy with them in the process. So here's the structure I recommend. You hook with something about how you can help them, and then you share relevant parts of your story and end with an actionable next step. Let's take me as an example here. I help founders build their brands and businesses on LinkedIn. The relevant parts of my story that I share are the fact that I built a VC-backed company before, and I had a competitor who basically got into every single meeting that he wanted because he had a big personal brand. That's relevant because it's part of my lived experience that can relate to the pain points that my target customers have. And then I end with, for different groups of people, how I can help them. Now with the actual writing itself, keep your sentences short and use line spacing. Write at a 5th grade level because remember, people are not paying attention. Now we've gone through the hero profile framework, let's get onto the bonus section. Here's where some of the real hidden money is. 99% of LinkedIn users miss this. First one is the featured section. Most people put their top performing posts in their featured section. This is a bad move. Why? Because the only person who cares that they were your top performing post is you. What people who have reached your profile care about is, again, you can deliver results for them. So what I typically recommend is that you include a lead magnet so you can collect custom emails, or there's a place here for people to book sales calls. Putting a case study as well is also a good move. And I've got another video coming out soon on how to write good case studies. So let's take mine as an example. I have a lead magnet here, a free email personal branding course. I also have a link to my newsletter, and then I also recommend, as I already mentioned, case study videos or testimonials are great. The second really important but subtle part of your LinkedIn profile is your custom button. So most people don't even know this exists. The custom button is only available on premium profiles. And basically what it is a call to action that shows up on every single one of your posts. And that means, for example, in my case, I get 1 million to 1.5 million views on my content a week on LinkedIn. That means that for anyone who sees any of my posts, they may be able to click my custom button. And for say what, that drives a ton of our traffic each month. So in your case, I would set this to wherever you want to drive traffic to. That's typically your main offer or a newsletter or somewhere where you can build a deeper relationship with your target audience. And something really important here is I use a UTM link to track how much traffic it actually sends your way. You'll be surprised at how much it is. Most people spend hours planning posts and chasing views. If your profile isn't optimized, you're leaving money on the table. The good news is you don't need a complete overhaul. Just small fixes can create big results. So here's my recommended plan. Start with your headline this week. It's super easy. Then update your banner next week. And in a month, you'll have a profile that actually converts curious viewers into clients. I've used this exact hero profile framework to grow my business past $500,000 in revenue. So trust me, it works. And if you want to create content that actually drives people to that optimized profile, click the first link in the description to try Say What for free. It'll help you write posts to get the right people clicking. I'll see you in the next video.